affordable housing, relatively speaking, we have a lot of affordable housing here relative to the rest of California, right? That's one of the reasons it's done well. And I think you're seeing in the city a lot more housing now being developed finally again for the first time in decades. But the cost to build housing is not cheap in California, even though people try to make it as inexpensive as possible to get it done. There's so many restrictions and so many regulations. It's hard to meet all the criteria necessary. But I think this region has a shot to do it right, and I think it's moving in the right direction. And I think there'll be plenty of affordable housing here over time relative to the rest of the region, which will help continue to spur growth. Because you got a lot. There's 1,300 new jobs out there in the last 3 years at that casino alone. That's a lot of employees looking for places to stay and live. So in the short run, I know it's been hard, but I think in the long run, you'll see more affordable housing options.
What do you see as the short-term challenges, the long-term challenges, and the opposite side of those coins?
Well, I think one of the things that has to be improved, it's not just a Yuba-Sutter issue, but it's a statewide and a national issue, is our educational systems need huge enhancement. And Yuba-Sutter is an area that definitely could use a jolt of movement in that area. Our schools we have to do a better job with our schools. I give Tony Dotson a lot of credit at Yuba College. She's come in there like a ball of fire and really is trying to direct that school in a way to where they get people through in a couple of years, so they can get through in 2 more years to get a 4-year degree, in an expedient fashion. They're not languishing there for 7 or 8 years because they can't get what they need. And also their focus on trades and trying to get people, either they're nursing or welders or plumber, whatever. Their focus, I think, is finally in the junior college level back to where it should be, is serving the community's needs and making those things happen. And she's come in there and really done a good job of getting them real. I'm really impressed with her leadership there, and I think the future's bright for Yuba College in that regard.
Other classes or other types of classes that you think need to be available locally in order to make it possible for people to hear without having to travel?
I think more high tech. I mean, I think obviously the internet's helping. Obviously there's ways you can improve it and partner. I think the college is trying to do that, and I think I look at what Tom Russer's doing as a superintendent, and I look at there's a lot of things that people are trying to do to make our schools better here. But that's an area of focus that citizens with kids that are of school age need to really pay attention to. Really pay attention to what school boards are doing and where they're focusing what little money they do control and what curriculum they do control, to really try to get that math, science, English, really get the skill sets developed that matter. I think that focus needs to really be enhanced and continue to grow in order for this region to continue to grow. And there's been talk about, there's a lot of things that are going on under the surface that people aren't going to be aware of for a while that are going to make a big difference here. And education is going to be a big part of that. There are other college opportunities, I think, that are going to be in play here in Yuba-Sutter in the not too distant future, and a lot of technology plays that are going to be made. We have Beale Air Force Base at our doorstep. That's the high-tech base of the entire nation. The stuff that goes on out there reconnaissance-wise, the stuff that people know about and 99% of none of us know about, is as high-tech as it gets in the entire world. And there's a spillover from that. You got McDonnell Douglas, you've got all these military industrial complex technology firms that operate, that want to be part of this region. You've got UC Davis, University of California, Berkeley. You've got now you've got a Cal Poly campus at Humboldt. I think you could see a Cal Poly campus in the north here someday as well. There's a lot of inertia for making some things happen educationally here and from a technology standpoint, just because of what's in the region, and that includes Beale Air Force Base, which plays a big role. So I'm really excited about some of the things that are going on that aren't being talked about yet, that I think could happen here in the near future as well, to help propel more capital investment and create more opportunities for folks in this region to move forward even faster.
Yeah, we hear a lot about people who have capital to invest, businesses. They are looking for a well-trained, or at least a well-equipped, trainable workforce
Absolutely.
in the area.
Yep.
And that's where the basic education comes in.
Yep.
So you had a role in starting not just an event, but the event.
Yep.
Tell us how that came to pass. Why did you do that, and what was the reason that you got it started and have continued to help it along? What does it do?
So in 2013, working with Nate Pomeroy, who was the general manager of Peachtree Golf and Country Club at the time, we were looking for ways to. So Peachtree, it was opened in 1959. It's the #1 location for charitable dollars being raised in this community. It's raised millions of dollars through its golf tournaments and different events out there over the years, because it's been really the only place where you could facilitate, large gatherings with food services, have the restrooms available, and have space where you could actually have large gatherings and raise a lot of money. So whether it was a golf tournament or some kind of concert or whatever, that's always been a big deal out there. It's always been a big part of Peachtree Golf and Country Club. But that facility was getting older. There were some things that needed to be fixed, and so we created an event where it was kind of a threefold event. One was to improve the facilities a little bit at a time, raise money for charity, and to be an annual the event. The term I came up with, the event, so you would always look once a year. You had to be at the event because you wanted to be seen, heard, be able to network with other business people, have your team of employees or family network with other folks. So you wanted it to be an attractive enough event where people would look forward to it every year and came. So that's what we created. We started in 2013 with Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Dave Mason. We just disagree, and only you know and I know. And he was an amazing. He put on an amazing show. That show sold out, and that was 10 years ago. So this year was the 10th anniversary, and we accomplished a lot at Peachtree. And with the new venue here at Hard Rock being open, it just made sense to move the event this year there, because you save about $60,000 in costs. You don't have to create the video boards, the staging, the sound, the lights, the generators, the security,
right.
all the things you have to pay for to put a concert on. It's all built in. You don't have weather problems because it's an indoor facility and it's state of the art. And the tribe really wanted to partner with it. They wanted to have a hand in making the quality of life better for folks in the community through charitable donations. And so it just became a really good fit. The tribe embraced it. Mark Bertha and Hard Rock embraced it. And literally in 3.5 weeks, we were able to pull it off. This year, 2,500 people were there. It was the 10th annual. It was May 26th, Thursday night. Tyler Rich came back to town. Home local boy made good. He's one of the top country artists in the entire United States. He had just played in front of 20,000 people in Sacramento at Country in the Park 2 weeks before. And this was a private event. We couldn't sell tickets to it because Maroon 5 was coming in a week later for the public official opening. But everybody jumped on board. I had 65 incredible sponsors, Adventist Hospital, Sierra Central Credit Union, the McKelly family, Hilbers Incorporated, the list goes on and on. It's a who's who of businesses, and you can put the flyer up when you do the rebroadcast of this. But basically the who's who of businesses in Yuba-Sutter jumped all over that, and some of the leading businesses in the United States wanted to be part of that. First event ever at the best concert venue ever built in the United States. It was an extraordinary night. We raised $50,000 for Say Love, United Way, and the Canine Association, Yuba City Canine Association, for the police dog care after they retire. And so, it was just a tremendous success. Everybody had a great time. We filled up the steakhouse. In fact, the after party at the Center Bar out there was probably just as much fun as the concert. Everybody got to hang out with Tyler and his band, get autographs, pictures. And then we had Brian and friends, and Virgil Atkinson, Kevin Putnam, Kevin's son, and also Ray Allen come up and play all night. The bar, actually, the stage at the bar went from 10 to 1. People went crazy. So everybody had a ball. Great night, raised a lot of money, filled up the hotel, filled up the steakhouse out there, filled up the concert venue. The show was amazing. Temecula Road, who also played here right on this patio the night before that, and opened for Tyler out there, and they're killing it at CMA Fest in Nashville right now, along with Tyler. And we've had a great run. And by the way, there's 3 performers, Tyler Rich, Temecula Road, and now Nate Smith, who all headlined for me at the event one night or another. And they're all kicking it in Nashville this week. The biggest event in music history is this week in Nashville with CMA Fest this week with the number of, you name the who's who of music are playing in Nashville this entire week. Pretty great. And we have 3 of the stars there that came from here. Pretty cool.
That's cool. And Larry Garvin, who I used to work with at KUBA, is also a Nashvilleian.
That's right.
These days. Larry is what you would call a working musician. A little tough during the pandemic, but he's been on the road lately. I see some things from his Facebook page from time to time.
Yeah.
So, Larry, if you happen to be watching, we hope that you're having a good time while the events are going on in Nashville this week.
I don't think you can help but have a good time. That if you haven't been to Nashville, and my wife and I visited there February this year for the first time, simply amazing. That's all I can say.
All right. Well, John, this has been a great conversation. One last question.
Yeah.
Is there something that we haven't asked you that you think it's important for people to know about you or the community?
I just, again, I think this is the most giving community that exists in California. I mean, per capita. I mean, being part of this community is something that I value and my family values. It's a great place to work, live. Don't be afraid to step out and get involved, because this is a place that you can get involved and make a difference. And that's the beauty of Yuba-Sutter.
And what's next for you?
The John Cassidy Golf and Fishing Society. I'm going to be a lot of time on the houseboat at Shasta Lake and a lot of time at Peachtree, making the greenskeepers' lives hell out there. So, yeah, that's going to be a lot of my future for the short run. I'll still definitely take some time to enjoy some golf and some fishing time and time with the family. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. All good.
Favorite fish?
Oh, I love to fly fish for trout on rivers and streams, and I love to bass fish at Shasta Lake. And so it doesn't matter. It's about the hunt and hooking them and then throwing them back and letting them grow a little bigger. So it's all good.
Great. Well, we have a John Cassidy. We've been talking with John here, and we appreciate his time and being able to order for us something that is very, very tasty. And we're going to let him actually dive in with a fork while we tell you about what's coming up here on Yuba-Sutter.live in the next little bit here. Because we do have some interesting stuff going on, and that includes this coming Saturday, the Yuba-Sutter Fair Horse Show at 9 o'clock. We'll be live streaming it as long as we can get a signal out, and if we can't get the signal out, we'll pop it up as a recording. There are other things that we will have going on, and that includes on Tuesday our usual routine of government meetings that we do. We're kind of like the C-SPAN of Yuba-Sutter. At 9 a.m., the Yuba County Supervisors meeting, 3 o'clock, Sutter County Supervisors, 5:30 p.m., Marysville Unified School Trustees. You'll find out what's going on within our school districts if you watch these on a regular basis. 7 o'clock, Yuba City Unified School Trustees. And then we have Lunch with Langdell coming up every Wednesday. June 16th, that's next Wednesday, Crystal Martin will be talking about the Yuba City Downtown Stroll. Then we've got Dave Dillabo on Wednesday, June 22nd, talking about how he showed up here. He's got a lot of interesting things to talk about, including what's going on at the fair. And then Wednesday, June 29th, we'll be talking about what's happening with 4th of July. We'll be live streaming the 4th of July fireworks again. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, we will be live streaming the Yuba-Sutter Symphony concert that's coming from Plumas Boulevard, and a bit of the kids parade that happens down there. And then on Wednesday, July 6th, Carrie Hauk will be joining us over in Marysville somewhere to talk about Peach Fest 2022, which is another thing going on. So there is a lot going on here on Yuba-Sutter.live. We are, as I say, the C-SPAN for Marysville and Yuba City, for all of Yuba-Sutter. And we hope that you will join us again for one of these fine broadcasts, or for Lunch with Langdell coming to a screen near you.